Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to the webinar for today. I am Ms. Sana Ahmed. I have been a language trainer and an academic for several years. And today here I am with Burlington English, talking about the impact and the importance of speech when it comes to transforming our lives, transforming our careers. As you can see in the very first slide, Burlington English here actually aspires to create in you the desire and the caliber to succeed in the 21st century. And the moment I mentioned the 21st century, we all realize that language, career opportunities, all of them have expanded. They are no longer restricted to job opportunities, to the scope that we earlier believed were available. It goes beyond that. So when we are here in Burlington English, what we do is we look at a continuous fostering of this mindset. Okay, we work as an organization to ensure that we utilize your caliber to the fullest. Now, Burlington English as an organization is a global organization. It is there in the market for several years. Whatever material we bring to you, whatever material is made available to you, is the result of research that has been conducted for several years and research that has been conducted at the ground level. So there are teachers who are involved, there are students who are involved, and the problems that we talk about, the problems that the students and the teachers encounter are all taken into account. And then the material is created, then our matter is created so that what we bring to you, we help you master the act of effective communication, right? So what do I mean by effective communication? Yeah, just a moment. Yes. So when I talk about effective communication skills, it's not just your communication or language, which is limited to the language, to your technical jargon, to the language that you are studying, but it goes beyond that. It is language which will actually create a niche for you. It is a language that will actually be able to give you an edge over the others, right? And to ensure that you have that kind of experience, that you master the important competency, that you are able to thrive in an extremely competitive world, in an extremely competitive work environment. What we do is we bring to you language, we bring to you grammar, we bring to you and we emphasize on all the LSRW skills which are required to have an effective communication. Right? Being engineers, you will all sort of agree with me when I say that it's not just about your spoken English. Okay, it's not just about having a conversation with a person, having a conversation with a colleague or with a fellow student or with your bosses when you join an organization. It is also about having an effective conversation, which includes your ability to write a proper email, which includes your ability to put forward specifically what is it that you want to say and what you want to speak about. So specificity in language is very, very important. And we as an organization, we understand that because we've worked across several age groups. We've worked across students that come from a very technical background, who have an introduction to the English language, who are aware of the English language. But again, it's not just one area that you need to focus on. It goes beyond that. So there is listening, there is speaking, there is reading, there is writing. And all of these have to go hand in hand. When on one hand, you're having a conversation, so you have to listen. That is extremely important. At this confidence to speak in the language that will help you sort of also frame your sentence simultaneously, that this is what I'm going to speak about. And when you have spoken, that spoken idea, that idea that is there in your head, when you have to put it on paper, it should also be done in a manner that is foolproof, that does not, there are no blunders, there are no major grammatical errors, right? So what goes out from you in terms of your report, your emails, your SOPs, and written is, the written word we all know is very, very important. So all of that is well coordinated, is well constructed. right? So as we go on and we see the rest of the slides, we'll not just focus on the importance of language, on the importance of effective communication, but also we will look at how Burlington English plays a very important role, to create that environment for you, to give you that impetus. All right. So the most important part of our presentation here would be decoding speaking skills. And even though it's decoding speaking skills, but we cannot uh, take away, the fact that we also need to have good written skills, good uh, listening skills. Very, very important. As a trainer, I think I've always been emphasizing that to be an effective speaker, to be a person who is able to handle their clients, who's able to handle, you need to have all these skills and have a good understanding of all these skills. Right? Now, significance of language. So I've been telling you all this while how communication is very, very important. But the first thing and the foremost thing, being engineering students, being students that, you're doing a course which will actually give you the platform to start off with a job. Uh, so main idea here is to establish yourself, establish the employability, right? So we know there's cutthroat competition. There's no denying that in today's world, in today's scenario, everyone is either good at what they are doing or striving to be good at what they are doing, right? So what will give you that edge over the others? What is it that will create difference? So whenever we go for interviews abroad, I mean, a lot of students now, after they've done their engineering, they want to go abroad, they want to go for higher studies. That sort of, opens better avenues for them. Uh, so for all of them, and, the panelists are there, the main question that comes up that fine, you know your subject, that's very, very good. But what do you know apart from that? What is it that will give you an edge over the others, that will make us believe that yes, you are different, that you will bring in something to the organization or to the company? And I think at the end of it, it's all business, right? What you bring with you. So language there becomes extremely important. You might be very, very nervous. You might be extremely scared. But the magic that good communication, that a good understanding of language gives you is that despite everything, despite that thumping heart, the fear that you may experience when you're there, sitting there, being interviewed, is that you will know what to say, how to say, when to say. So that I think is very, very important. And today, the entire game is about where, how, when, and what. Whether you are at the right place at the right time, whether you've been able to make the correct use of the opportunity that has been given to you. So that is very, very important. And here, the way we look at language, the way we present language to you, all of you have, I am very, very sure, a background of English. We've done English school. We've all grown up studying either in convent schools, or there's always an exposure, a continuous exposure to the English language, because the importance of it has been drilled into our brains, and rightly so, right? But so what Burlington English really does is creates that overall growth for you, which increases your, if I may call it, your employability index. We have our IQ, we have our emotional quotient and everything. But here, if an employer has to employ you in his organization, we will help you create that extra bit of an edge for yourself. We'll help you create that niche for yourself that sort of takes you to a level higher than the others and gives you that sense of confidence. Another very important thing, connecting language for multicultural, multilinguistic workforce. I was just reading through some material, and it was basically an interview of a teacher. And, there were certain facts that I came across, just general facts, that English now has become such, almost every five native speakers of English, you've got five to six non-native speakers. So English has actually is now such an important and integral part of conversations that if we have to think of it, in terms of, say, the conversations that are happening right now on this earth, uh, you'll realize that 90 to 95% of these conversations would actually involve non-native speakers. So that's the extent to which people are branching out, and youngsters are branching out, young students are branching out. It's no longer a world where you limit yourself to a particular region, to a particular experience. There is just so much. There is so much that one can do, and sky is your limit. So here, language becomes extremely integral, because it not just connects people. You are not just able to identify and relate to people at a very human level, but at the same time, you are able to take yourself, one notch higher, and become a very important part of the organization that you will eventually join. Language of science and technology, of course. I mean, we cannot, even engineering, medical schools, or any profession whatsoever, they all rely on English. Uh, Also, as I already said, that you have your very pure engineering terms, your jargons, as we call it, the words, the ideas, the references that would be more applicable um, to your field, to your stream, whichever branch of engineering you may be doing, right? But at the same time, it's not just those keywords that really matter. You've got to string it together. So then it also becomes a language of science and technology. English is not just novels and movies and literature and poem and poetry. It is happening. It is the it language of now. Lingua franca of the world. I mean, I've already told you that it's a global language. It has a global presence. It has a global importance. And for anyone, for that matter, to survive in this competitive world, it is very, very important that you have a piece of this cake. Like literally, the language, you become comfortable with the language. So, one thing is that as an organization, as educators, as a trainer myself, I realize that it's not about teaching that language to you from the very, very basic, right? We don't need to do that. You already have a background, but what Burlington English really does, it gives you that polish. You have to hone your skills, and you have to continuously do that. Otherwise, what you've already learned, you may or may not be able to recall all that information, all that vocabulary at the right point of time. So when you are constantly in touch, when you are constantly interacting in the right manner, with the right set of words, with the right context, right narrative, then what happens is that you actually start building on your skills. Okay, so maybe the benchmark that you've set yourself in terms of language learning, that this is where I want to be. If I'm here, I want to be here. If I'm here, I want to go higher up, right? It will help you achieve that. Corporate communication, as I said, that no longer do we now limit ourselves to one field. Students are so ambitious and they're doing so many things. I think 10 years back, we would not have even known of the different alternate career options that are coming up. But and the corporate world is also something that is extremely attractive as a career option, and a lot of students opt for it, are still opting for it. So therefore, corporate communication in a corporate setup also is very, very important, where you will have a formal communication, there is informal communication. It's not just always communicating with your bosses, with the higher authorities. Sometimes it's also communicating with the colleagues, because the corporate world is a different matrix by itself. It's a different world, different setup. So the right attitude, the right use of words, the right approach to have, that, if I'm sending an email to my boss, immediate boss, my reporting boss, if I'm sending it to someone else, this is how my email should be framed. This is the information that I need to give, and this is the information that I do not need to give. This is what I need to say. This is how I need to frame. And it's like an ongoing learning process, right? So there again, language comes in. And last but not the least, and the most important, is that certainly having the ability to speak, to think, to read, to write in a particular language, and a language as important as English, it will certainly ensure professional growth. Okay, yeah. So I just mentioned what I gave you was a very rough kind of a picture of how important English has become with the passage of time. But if you look at it over here, you'll see, how English is one of the most widely spoken language. It's a second language. So certainly, therefore, we are the non-native speakers. And I'm constantly calling us the non-native speakers because the target here is to have an understanding of the language with its grammar, with the correct pronunciation. As an organization, as a trainer myself, I will never push you to imitate. So we are not here to mimic any particular kind of speaker, but we are here to understand the language, use it as per our convenience, use it the way we've been taught to use it, right? So over 1 billion people speak English as a second language. So that's almost 10% of the total population. When you look at India, Chinese again is the next widely spoken language. And you'll see how English has this wide global reach. It is spoken by 1.5 billion people worldwide and is the official language of many countries. So wherever you go, and not just you going abroad or going out to, for a job or for your higher studies, uh, you'll see that even when the companies come in and invest, we are developed country, right? So we also need overseas, brands and companies and big organizations to come and invest in our country to set up, their units here. So then again, English again becomes very, very important because it's a common language. It's that common thread, that people coming from different regions, it becomes very easy then for to spread business. Uh, English is the primary language of international business, science, aviation, computing, and diplomacy. So it's not just about your immediate field. As I said, that, you all are still very young students with every phase in their life, every stage in their life. They begin to realize and they understand exactly what they want. This is an ongoing process. It really takes a lot of time and experience. And I think somewhere even I am figuring out what more can I do. So the moment you figure out what more you can do, what more you want to do, how you want to expand, spread your wings, there language proficiency becomes extremely, extremely important. Very important. That's how you connect at every level. And even now, when, Chat GPT and AI, all this is just sort of doing the rounds in the market, very, very important. Everything sort of, comes all framed and served on a platter. But to be able to search that also, even if you're looking up internet, and to have an effective search to in less time, how do you come up with the maximum result? You find what you're looking for. Again, you need to understand English because most of the content, right, almost 61% of the websites with their content are in English language. And even the search keywords that you put in, like, you need to have an understanding of the situation. Hence, again, I bring you back to the point that you're learning, you're listening, you're speaking, you're writing, and your reading skills all need to work in tandem. Excuse me. All right. Benefits of being a better communicator. First, okay, so this is like a nice little picture and different stages that have been actually identified. Gist of what I've already said, and I'm sure that as students also you must have sort of realized and seen these things happen, these problems or these little inhibitions that you may have experienced, if I may say so. Right. So when you become a better communicator, what happens is you have better problem solving abilities. Now, as I said, that I've worked for several years as an academic, I've interacted with students across all age groups, and I've trained students as well as teachers. So one of the several sort of shortcomings or impediments that I have found in non-native speakers is, first of all, for some of the students who are not very confident of their skills, language skills, the first problem that they face when it comes to communicating or problem solving is, you know, is the fear of failure, right? You have certain ideas, you feel you are going to be successful only when you make less mistakes. It's like learning, uh, say, how to play a particular musical instrument, or piano for that matter. So you feel you measure your success on the fact of, the number of mistakes that you will make. Like if you make less mistakes, you are more successful. And what we do is there's always a tendency to put the benchmark real high. So then that fear of failure often sort of jeopardizes your ability to function effectively, because the human mind sometimes, when you are, as I said, and I don't know if you recall, but I mentioned a calm, clear confidence. What I mean by calm, clear confidence is when you become very fluent in a language and you understand it. So if there is the first scenario, right, problem solving, there is a conflict and you have to find a solution to the problem. So, what is happening is that the moment you have an understanding and sort of a comfort level with the language in all its forms, it becomes easier for you to multitask. It becomes easier for your brain to multitask. So, you do not really have that fear that I may be making mistakes. So, while I'm framing my sentence, one part of my mind is more sort of, obsessed with the fact that I may be, is this correct? Is this grammatically correct? Should I put was? Should I put is, past tense, present? There's so much happening and your brain automatically will shut down, right? So it becomes very, very important for you to be comfortable that, okay, this is it. If I don't remember a particular word, this is how I turn around my sentence and then I can speak. If I'm writing an email and, I have like a time limit, 5 minutes, you need to send an email, it has to come really quick. uh, I know that, okay, this is what is that word I was thinking of, that word, okay, I'm not getting it. I'll just turn around and reframe my sentence. So that comfort has to be there. So when you have that, then it becomes very easy for you to find solutions to your problems, to resolve conflicts at every level, at at your workplace, at a personal level, at every level. Being able to articulate exactly, that is what I was saying, that when you listen and you speak, when you listen and you write, what is happening, the more comfortable you are with the language, you will be able to articulate, you will be able to put forward your perspective, put forward your suggestions, and therefore, your communication as a whole becomes extremely effective, right? Your pronunciation also, for that matter, becomes very, very important. Yeah, if I say that I want to have a glass of water, there's like a, a nice, you've got an, like a work thing happening and there's a meeting and you've got your clients, you're interacting with your clients and you say, can I have a glass of water, please? And there you say, can I have a glass of water, please? There's, it's just these little nitty-gritties. Not that you're wrong, okay? It's both are correct. But as I said, I was constantly telling you about that edge over the others, that packaging. This is what gives you that packaging. So your fluency, your ability to put your thoughts together, your comfort with that language will help you create solutions for all your problems, which brings us to the next thing, increased confidence. Because what happens is when you're not comfortable with what you're speaking, when you're not when your heart is thumping, you've got butterflies in your stomach, your confidence level goes down. And you start, if you fumble, if you've made grammatical errors in your emails, in your reports that you will be submitting, what happens is that it's not just about, your language. It doesn't just reflect on your language skills. It starts reflecting on you as an individual. So your client might look at you as someone who is not very confident handling the project. That, okay, because you want that smartness, you want that confidence. Your client wants to see that confidence in you. Your employer wants to see that confidence in you because a lot of responsibilities of the company, of the organization rests on your shoulders. So when you feel comfortable expressing yourself, you are more likely to take on challenges and pursue your goals because that is the kind of vibe that you will give to the person who's interacting with you, right? With increased confidence, with better problem solving abilities, with your improved decision making, right? When you have a clear mind, when you have a clear understanding of the scenario. So, reading, right? If there is a problem, I'm listening, I'm reading, there's a problem. When I'm able to understand the language, what I do is I'm able to read between the lines. So, when you're able to read between the lines, your mind is not just focused on the jargons that are there, on what is given. You start understanding your client. You start understanding the psychology of the person that you are interacting with. So you know that, okay, this is my audience. This is how I need to work with them, right? This is the language, whether it has to be very, very formal, absolutely, cut to cut. This is what you want. This is what you get. Or should it be a little more relaxed? Should it be so? You understand, you have a better understanding of your audience, you have a better understanding of your client, and therefore it helps give you an enhanced decision making ability, right? You make better decisions. You can collate, you can collect all the necessary information and then effectively bring it across. And every time I'm actually emphasizing on the word effective because conversation, a lot of people have conversation. We know how to have a conversation. I mean, we don't want to learn that. We don't want to teach you that. So it's not about having a conversation, it is to ensure that you have an effective conversation. You focus on specificity of language, using specific words. That this is my situation. If I have to talk about a conversation, I don't go about saying that I met my friend and I told him, how you are, and then he said, yes, this is how I am. This is not the kind of communication that I would want when I am in a corporate environment, when I am talking to my clients, when I am doing my work, right? I want to use words that are specific. I want to use sentences that are short, precise, crisp, and to the point, right? Again, if my audience changes, I would have a different conversation, and you can be the life of a party if you have good communication skills. How can I miss that? Right? So, improved decision making, increased confidence, increased creativity. Again, the more you understand, the better you express, right? So, it fosters creativity, it fosters innovation, which is again a very, very essential aspect of today's world of, sort of thriving and doing better in your surviving also in your work environment, that you need to innovate. By sharing ideas and collaborating with others, you can generate new and innovative solutions to problems. So what it does, it helps harbor a team spirit, a healthy team spirit. So the more you are able to communicate, the more you are able to use language effectively, you will be therefore able to communicate better, to have a better team spirit. And team functioning, team spirit, and teams are very, very important nowadays to function. I mean, we are not lone players anymore. You've got to work with people. You have to understand the mentality of people. Improved relationships. So, by expressing yourself clearly and actively listening to others, you can build stronger relationships with friends, family, and colleagues. As I said, life of the party is what you can be. And to sum it all up and to talk about the main idea, is that it gives you enhanced career opportunities. So you become an asset to your company. You become highly valued in your workplace because you bring all of this with you. You are a better problem solver. You have confidence. You can deal with problems. You can take on tasks because you can manage them. You know how to make decisions. You know how to understand situations. You have creativity and you have better relationships with your colleagues, right? You are able to articulate your ideas, collaborate effectively, and present confidently. So your ideas are not just restricted to your mind, to your head, but you're able to present it in paper. You are able to talk about it. And therefore, what happens? Your earning potential increases. Okay. So your employability increases and your opportunities in terms of getting better jobs, etc., all that increases.
Right. So, Sana, if you allow me a minute, because can you
Yes,
go
yes.
back to the previous slide first? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, as Sana has explained it very well, that why you have to become a better communicator. But I would like to share one of my experience in one of the conference I have attended last week. So this conference is by SHRM. If you can do a little bit of Google there, you can identify that what SHRM conference holds of. So there are close to 5,000 CHROs of different organizations and different industries as well. A lot of from the engineering manufacturing industries also. The one thing which all of them have in common, and the discussions which are there in that particular session, and the common thing which got discussed is that in the coming 2 or 3 years, right, all these technical part, though it is an important thing, but in the coming time, the communication skill will become a very important part for all of us, and it will be a major hiring criteria for each and every organization, because majority of the organizations and the countries are now coming together to form a common platform wherein they will pick up the right skill set for a specific work to be done. And India in the coming 3 years going to serve the entire world for the major workforce, which will be the skilled workforce for the entire world. So it's that we are getting ourselves ready for facing the world in the coming time, right? So the jobs which you see today might not exist in the coming 2 years. It is that fast, right? So we have to develop ourselves, we have to improve our skill sets, and for improving any kind of a skill set, the communication skill set is the first very important requirement while going to any other skill set if it is required. Lot of Now there is a lot intervention which is happening every day which is related to AI, right? Every job is being converted, every role is being converted and being made towards AI, and the AI is going to take over very fast. But yes, we have to be there in that particular race, wherein we should not lose communication as a skill set, which is an important asset to us. And even out of the total communication skills, the two major skills, which is speaking and writing, are primary and the important skills, right? So speaking has to be important. Even if we are a good speaker, it doesn't mean that we are very good in writing, right? So we have to have that particular skill also to be enhanced, so that it will help us in the coming corporate culture, or whenever we are going towards the corporates and going to start our jobs, we are able to present ourselves and express ourselves better, right? Now I'll tell you how Burlington is going to help us. So Sana, if you can help us, and we so that we can jump down to the next two slides fast.
Yeah.
uh, uh,
This one?
let's move further. Let's go to the LMS side directly. I
Yeah.
think we discussed this already.
Yeah. Just one second.
Yeah, no problem.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So we at Burlington English takes care of the students' complete learning journey, in terms that we will assess the students first, that at what current level they are. And we have a very strong assessment tool by the name of VTest, which actually assesses your exact CEFR level on listening, speaking, reading, writing, as well as on grammar, plus the expression, right, and the conversation, right? So there is a part in that particular test which actually takes your interview. Now that interview has been taken by AI, which actually interprets and identify your top errors which you are making while you are conversating, right? So this particular tool will help you to gauge that at what level of CEFR you are there. So in case if you're planning to take different professional tests like IELTS, TOEFL, CELPIP for that matter, OET in that regard, right? So all these tests are in English, and this particular assessment tool will assess you and give you a very varied comparison that yes, this is what your current level is and this is what your improvement area is. Now, Burlington English is the only organization exist today which will not only have the assessment tool, but will also have the CEFR aligned learning management system, which will tell you and gives you the right amount of learning intervention, wherein you will learn that these are my errors and how will I overcome these errors by using the tools which are there with Burlington English, right? So we have, so the entire learning journey for each and every student has been like that we have an assessment. We'll get to know your levels. You have been allocated the courses as per your CEFR levels. There will be a learning intervention. If there is a self-paced learning, there's a tutor-based learning, both. And post that, there is a post assessment wherein we'll get to know that from you have been moved from X to Y, or what was your learning path and how much you have improved. There are certificates which are globally accepted. You can put those certificates on your LinkedIn. You can share while you are going for an interview, and it will give you another advantage as well as edge in that particular interview, that yes, you are B1 CEFR certified, expert in writing skills, expert in grammar or a speaking skill. This will give you an edge when you are actually representing yourself for any big organization. Right? Can you move Sana fast?
Yeah. Yes.
Move.
So I think,
So these are the reports which
yeah.
I've already discussed.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go to the LMS. Now I'll tell you brief about our LMS, that what is our learning management system holds and how it will help you. Move on to the next slide, Sana. Next, next. That's it. So
This one? Yeah.
previous one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So our learning management system have is made in such a way, or has been created in such a way, so that you can get a customized learning solution. And by the customization, I means that in case if you're at CEFR A1, it doesn't so it does not hold any it does not hold any importance that we will give you a course which has been aligned to B1, B2, or a C1, right? So we have solutions which are not common for all solutions. We have solution very specific to your needs, which means that in case if you require an improvement in grammar, you require an improvement in writing skills or in speaking skills, we have a customized learning solution for you, right? So in a group of 100 or maybe thousands, every individual have a different customization group, and the course will be given as per the improvement area which is there for each student. We have a blended learning approach, which means that you can uh, use a self-paced study material and you can study at your own pace. Our application works on anywhere, any device, and anytime, which means when you are going back from college to your home, and if you want to practice your vocabulary and want to improve your pronunciation, you just have to simply put your headphone and start speaking and practicing over the application. The application and the AI in the application actually reads it and gives you an interpretation that this is what the top errors which you make and this is how you can correct it. So this could be your daily exercise. I mean, you can learn at as per your own pace. There are few master classes which has been taken by these tutors which are very specialized tutors and are from the industry. They'll guide you that what all are the top communication strategies, or you can share communication skills which are required to attack and to focus on a particular industry. The entire learning is CEFR based, right? And there are a flexible time to learn. The best part is about the entire solution is that you know that what are your current progress levels, which means if you have given 10 hours of learning over the application, what are the top errors are you making while you are doing a communication practice, right? How are you overcoming those errors? What all are the activities which you are practicing? Since all the activities are scenario based, there are no textbook chapters. There are day-to-day life scenarios. It's like that when you are going to a hotel, how will you conversate with the hotel manager, right? How are you and what kind of a conversation you are doing with the account manager there when you are coming out and you are going on a holiday? What all are the conversation you'll make? I mean, there are different scenarios, and there are thousands of scenarios. There are close to 1 lakh plus words to practice, different vocabularies from different industry, which means if you want to become a civil engineer, if you want to become an electrical engineer, right? You can pick that particular career option and you will see that all the words which are there in the vocabulary pertains to that specific career option which is available there, right? Which means that the words which are used in electrical engineering streams, you will get to know the right pronunciation of those words, and you can start doing a practice of it, right? So it's like that you are learning the right pronunciation and a vocabulary of a specific career option. So this is also one of the unique feature of learning management system provided by Burlington English. Yeah, you can move, Sana.
Next slide.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is, as already told you, it is accessible on all devices. It's an improved learning management system that it keeps on improving your skills, as well as we at our side also analyzes the performance which and the progress which you guys are making, which means that what are your top errors, right? Specifically, when I talk about the mother tongue issues, which are like MTI issues which you face. So there are a lot of people who are from very different states, and and the language which they speak is influenced by that particular regional language. So it's like that if you're from Bengal and you start speaking English, it has that Bengali accent coming in, or a Bihari accent coming in, or accent from UP, which is there, right? This particular application will help you to remove that particular accent, and you are able to practice and pronounce the words exactly how they have to be pronounced, right? It's that it will not make you a native speaker on an immediate basis. It all depends that how much practice you do. But one thing is for sure, and I have seen a lot of used cases and with my own experience, that your pronunciation is going to get improved by 70 to 80% if you are rigorously giving at least 30 hours on this particular application. And now these 30, minimum 30 hours is completely depending you how you want to distribute these number of learning hours. It's like even if you are giving 1 hour a week or a 2 hour a week, that's on weekends, right? And practicing these words, you will see a drastic change the way you are communicating with others versus earlier, right? Yeah, Sana, we can move. Yes, we can move. There's a progress report which I've already discussed. Yes. And another best part is that this particular application is available in 11 different Indian languages, which means that if you belong to Karnataka, if you belong to Tamil Nadu, and you want to specifically want to see the meaning of a specific word in your regional language, you can immediately see it on screen, right? If someone is from Bengal, if someone is from Maharashtra, right, they can immediately see the meaning of the word on screen, and this spots on screen while you are actually doing a practice over the application, right? Trust me, this is not available in any other language providing platform in today's time, right? So it's been a lot of research which has been done for making this particular sort of an application which will be available for the students. It will help students to learn faster and better. Yeah, move.
And if I may interrupt, or just add to what you've said, Rakesh sir, that it actually analyzes and records all the mistakes that you would make at the phoneme level. So as it's highlighted, see your double E's and I's. So even those nitty-gritties, those tiniest of pronunciation errors that you may make, and which actually change the meaning of the word altogether. All that is recorded, and accordingly, every time that you use, the system, the LMS, and you are pronouncing, it will keep highlighting that this was the previous mistake that you had made, and therefore this is how you need to correct. So the movement of the tongue, the teeth, and this is one of the most brilliant things that are there in Burlington English. It really helps train your speech to the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we have? Okay, good.
So
So join us on the journey of building a nation of a global leaders, right? So this is just a gist that what our learning management system holds. Even our assessment tools are so advanced that the way you are speaking, it will gives you a very detailed report and a summary as well as the improvement areas as well. With our assessment, you can even compare yourself that if in today's time you are going to appear for IELTS or OET or for TOEFL or any other placement test, right? What should be your scores, right? So that by our assessment test, even you can prepare better for these professional tests in case if you're planning to do and give in future, right? So this is all in all with us. Now I'll open the session for Q&A. If anyone have any question, you're open to ask. Yeah, we can wait for 2 minutes. Or else I can share my email ID here in the group. You can copy it and share your questions with us, I'll be happy to answer you. Any questions if anyone have, please. Shivam, I think they can unmute themselves, or I need to do it from here.
No, sir, they can share the questions in the chat box.
Okay, okay. I need to read it from the chat
Yeah,
box,
I
right?
think there is one question already.
Okay, where it is. So if you can read it out for me.
It says, do I have to pay for this course? If yes, how much it is?
So your respective coordinators will reach back to you to how can you enroll for this particular course, right? We are designing a program for your college specifically. I'm already in discussions with them. This session is just to give you a brief that what we hold and how we can help you to develop your communication skills better.
I think they also want to know about the duration, like how long would the entire
Very,
course?
very valid question. Very valid question. So it all depends when you give the assessment test first, right? So in case if you are on a very initial level of communication learning, which is A1, right? You require at least 100 hours of learning to reach out from A1 to the next level, which could be A2 or B1, right? Anyone who is B1 plus is to be considered as a native in the line of a native speaking, right? Sana, if I'm right? Because I might not be knowing that things very particularly, but as far as my knowledge goes, if anyone who is there on B1 plus level in terms of CEFR, right, his or her skills is as good as a native speaker, and he is ready for any global assignment if you want to take it up, right? Anything which is related to price,
Right.
right? Your coordinators will get back to you, right? I'll not, it's better that I should not share a price here, right? But yes, for duration, if you are at A1 level, you require at least 100 hours of practice or more. If you are at B levels, which means B1 or B1 plus, you require at least 60 to 80 hours, right? And in case if you are already on B1 plus and you want to do your advanced level version of communication skills, you require at least 40 to 60 hours. So this is how it will work.
I think once they are assessed, it
Yeah.
will be easier to understand, how long this entire course would take, for
Yeah, but
them.
the entire cycle goes for, so the total course duration is close to 200 hours and plus.
All right.
And now it depends on that how much practice you would like to do. You can do as much practice as you can. So there are 1 lakh plus words which are there in the vocabulary and specifically related to your career streams.
So I think, just for the others, it's like it's very intensive, but again, it also depends on exactly where you are in your journey of learning.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. At what level you are. And that's very, very important because maybe when I'm into a practice and
mm,
when I'm interacting with others into my day-to-day life, I feel that yes, I am doing a right conversation and my pronunciation is correct. But the problem is when actual testing happens, I get to know that yeah, these are the errors which I'm making, because many at times, maybe today, we miss that particular errors which are particularly related to grammar, right? It doesn't come into my day-to-day conversation. Yes.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think even though the 100, 200 hours sound big, as a learner myself, I would say that the fact that you can, you have access to all this information wherever, even while you're traveling, you can just use your phones, your laptop, your tablet, and you have access to it. The time just flies. And it's very, very effective when it
I
comes to
can
building.
I can give a very valid example, right? So there is an engineering school I will not name here, right, in Dehradun. Uh, uh, there are students. There are close to 200 students who have for which we have given a program to them. The need and the objective was that there's an organization from Saudi Arabia who is coming to India for interviewing those ITI students, specifically for electrical engineering, AC fitting, uh, 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 electrical, I mean, day-to-day activities which are related to the house electrical goods, right? And there are close to 700 openings which are there with them. So they are coming to India as one of their initiative, and they want to take their interview. So that particular college approached to us to give an initial training to the students so that they're at least able to express themselves and clear themselves in the interview. So because they are going to work in different countries altogether, and the primary medium of conversation is medium of conversation and language is English, right? So we started this program keeping in mind that we have to give at least 60 hours of intervention to these particular students. Trust me, even after giving 30 hours, that's why this 30 hours is, I keep on repeating, though students are able to give 30 hours within a 1.5 months of time, right? And trust me, out of 200, there are 180 students which get selected with an interview. Trust me, that's their rigorous practice on through a self-paced study on that particular application, right? And the usage was tremendous. There are students who had even completed 120 hours and plus, right? So nothing is impossible. 200 hours of learning is the total bouquet of that particular course to move from X level to Y, which completely depend on you. That even if you are able to give 30 hours, which means 1 hour a week or a 2 hour a week, I mean, you'll see a lot of change in you. Trust me. Yeah. No worries. So you guys, I'm just giving my email ID again, in case if you have any questions further, you can contact your coordinators, right? Primarily your placement cell, right? And then any information which is required, we are happy to share it with you, right? Good. So thank you all. Thank you once again for attending this session, giving a time on Saturday. I'm taking out a time of 1 hour in your daily busy schedule, right? I understand that from a student perspective as well, right? But yes, you are on a right journey, right? And I again emphasize that it's been there, and I've been attending a lot of conferences and meeting with a lot of CHROs of different organizations and industry. Trust me, in the coming 2 years or 3 years, the way the era is changing, the major requirement and the communication skill will become a very important skill, right? Which should be there with each and every student if we really want to success um, uh, uh, in their careers in future, right? So all the best to all of you for your future ahead, right? We love to interact with you again very soon, and we are already in discussion for designing a program, and we'll very soon we'll get back to you with our programs for you guys specifically. Thank you. Thank you, Sana, Meena, and
Thank you.
Shivam for joining along with me in this today's session, right? It was very nice, right? And yeah, all the best again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah, thank you.